The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Google is reporting an alarming rise in the number of government censorship requests. These are requests that come from government agencies asking Google to remove not actual websites from the internet, which of course that would not be within Google's purview, but to just remove them from the search results for certain search terms or for any search terms on Google. So this is kind of alarming for a couple of different reasons, Lewis. So let's look at some of these numbers. In the last half of 2011, Spanish regulators asked Google to remove 270 search results that linked to blogs and articles in newspapers referencing individual and public figures, and this included public prosecutors, mayors, etc. In Poland, they received a request from a public institution to remove links to a site that criticized it, and Google says they didn't comply with either of those requests. However, in the last half of 2011, U.S. agencies asked Google to remove over 6,100 individual pieces of content from the search results. This includes blog posts, archives of online videos, etc. That's up over 700% compared with 757 items that U.S. agencies asked Google to remove in the first half of 2011. Overall, Google received 187 requests from U.S. law enforcement agencies and courts to remove content from July to December. That was up about 100%. And in one incident, which the Google report cites, U.S. law enforcement asked Google to take down a blog that allegedly defamed a law enforcement official in a personal capacity. Google did not comply with that request. What's your reaction? Should Google be complying to these requests? When? What's the barometer?
Well, I mean, do we know what the majority of the content is about here, or is it just seemingly random?
It's about a number of different things. I mean, let's look at how often Google is actually complying. Okay. By the way, also 1,400 YouTube videos. YouTube, of course, owned by Google, requested to be taken down because of alleged harassment. Presumably, the video was addressing a specific person, which they believe to be harassing. They complied at least in part with 42% of these removal requests in the last half of 2011, and this is down considerably. For example, in the second half of 2010, Google complied with 87% of the requests to remove content. So the question is Google becoming more strict in when they remove content, or are agencies becoming more liberal in asking for more and more stuff to be removed? We don't know. Remember, they're removing search results, not websites themselves. What would be a legitimate type of result to ask Google to strike from their database of websites?
I don't know, things like anarchist cookbook related things.
Okay, so that's actually that's the interesting question a lot of people say, which is, do you want very specific guides when people search for how to make a bomb to be readily visible to people through Google? Forget about whether the website is illegal, right? We're not talking about taking the website itself down. That would be something totally different. But asking Google not to index that website. What do you think, Natan?
I think that's a legitimate claim, but what this makes me think about is just the monopoly that Google has on searches. We don't even consider any alternatives. So if they block a search result, what, are you telling me to get closer to the mic, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we think of the internet, we immediately think of Google as the only place to search for something. So they bear all the burden on all searches.
Well, they are the biggest shareholder of internet search. But that being said, this is based on a Google report. If Yahoo put out a similar report, then we could look at the Yahoo searches, right? We're only talking about Google because the request levied to Google because this is a Google report. The other thing is, should U.S. law apply to an international medium such as the internet, right? So if you've got a website that is resides on a server, on a host somewhere in Poland, for example, because that's mentioned in the report, and U.S. law enforcement wants Google to remove it from American search results, how do you legislate that? And again, this comes up a lot now, Lewis, because we have so many laws that were not written based on how many people actually use the internet. That's more of a legal question. But that being said, do you think it is legitimate for Google to remove websites that could only have what some would consider, but how can you even say that, a destructive influence? Maybe there's positive to that how to make a bomb website. I don't know.
I mean, in reality, I think the logical thing to do is just have everything be fair game on the internet.
Google does not do anything with any results.
Right.
If their algorithm finds the site, it's there. If search terms would bring it up, they're there.
I think that's the fair and logical thing to do.
What if pictures were stolen, private pictures from one of your medical appointments, and someone put those on Google?
Okay,
and
well,
you
have to be going after the person whose the pictures belong to needs to find out who the person who stole them was. I mean,
that's fine. Let's say you're doing that, though. In the interim, doesn't it also make sense for Google to remove from their search results something that's such a clear violation of your privacy?
I don't think so.
You don't believe so?
No.
Okay. Well, there you
Let
go.
me give you one more example.
But there are certainly, countless situations in which you could be dealing with government pictures, government files, what have you, where of course there will be, that's what will happen.
Let me give you another example. In Germany, it's illegal to publish Holocaust denial. So should Holocaust denial websites be banned from Google searches if you're searching from Germany?
Are the websites based in Germany? Are they hosted in Germany?
That's interesting. So I don't know. I mean, you could say that if it's illegal to publish something in Germany, if you're searching for it in the jurisdiction of Germany,
it shouldn't be available. Or it
exactly.
should. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Give me your thoughts on this. DavidPakman.com. Send me your emails.